Welcome in to this Tuesday edition. Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We'll look at the SEC basketball slicks. We have lines now for that. An article on ESPN.com talking about some hot seat stuff potentially for 2025 that I found decent fodder for anything you can find decent fodder on January the 7th. Got a lot of snow potentially coming to the south, including to Texas. Could that derail the date of the college football playoff semifinal there in Dallas for the Cotton Bowl? So all that coming up and more today on the show. Show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi as well. We will tell you about lunch specials, about those, $5.69, couple sides of bread, any size fountain drinks, Sweet Daddy's locations all over the state of Mississippi, and much more. Neal's going to tell you about Clark Ford Studio. Then I'm going to walk away for a little while, and he's going to get into the chat, answer all the questions going on in the stream right now this morning.
I can do it real fast.
Digital. Yep.
I can do it really fast. It's none of my business. That concludes this TED Talk. None of my business. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove it to you when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Yeah, just for anybody who's in the stream that's not, or sorry, listening on the podcast that's not in the stream, people were asking regarding Lane Kiffin and Layla Kiffin's relationship status at this point after, I mean, you can do whatever, but Lane sort of brought it up himself yesterday. He highlighted his own comments from Instagram. I think he put it on Twitter maybe. I don't know. There was some cross-pollination as far as the Twitter accounts. It was a photo of Layla with two other women and Lane. He commented, like I said, on Instagram and then took a screenshot and put it out on different social media entities. Said, what an amazing night. Was great to see you surrounded by so much love. The joy on your face reminded me of our wedding day when you walked down the aisle. What a perfect venue. So glad we switched it to the proper. You look 30. Thank you for being my rock. Lane Kiffin to Layla sometime in the past 48 hours, give or take, something like that. Which then sparked one of the SI accounts to write a story on that, because that's what they do apparently now. Sports Illustrated is not the Sports Illustrated of our youth. And it says that
I feel like Jalen Williams right now. The other day after the Thunder beat the Celtics, he and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were sitting at the podium, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was asked a question about his game, and he said, I'm pretty good at basketball. And Jalen Williams just went,
just nodding along.
I'm kind of there.
Because SI then, as I'm finishing here, I have one last thing. It said that they used the headline, Lane Kiffin shares love note to ex-wife Layla that seems to confirm reconciliation. And then Lane retweeted that. Again, that did not confirm reconciliation, but Sports Illustrated facts and whatnot. But Lane did retweet it, which then got the whole firestorm going. Look, she's moving to Oxford. Knox is coming to OHS. That is all I am willing to say on a microphone, period. So I'm done. I'm nothing else is on the record. I'm done. Go ahead, Neal. Your thoughts?
No.
You're up.
It's none of my business. I wish everyone involved the best. I don't know Lane Kiffin particularly well. I like him. The times that I have interacted with him, I think he's a smart person. He's a very good football coach. He's been nothing but respectful to me. In this moment, I will return that respect. I wish him and his entire family nothing but the very best.
Yeah, I mean, it's
happiness and all of those things. I wish that for them. I hope that
whatever they deem to be success is successful.
All of the young people in their lives have success and thrive and do well. That's what I wish for them.
Emily Bix writing the story for FSI. I think she took some liberties and some leaps there. Is that NCAA Emily? Is that what she's doing now? Has she moved over to SI, covering the gossip column?
Don't think that's
now?
her.
Is this page 6 for SI at this point?
Fairly certain that is not her.
No, we looked her up. She's working for like a lobbyist or something, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
I mean, let's give her a little credit. And I'm sure Emily Bix is a fine young woman. I'm sure she's wonderful.
But I will say this: once Lane starts retweeting it, it is bringing it into the public domain for discussion.
Well, that is true.
That's all I'm saying.
I think one must submit the possibility that the Ole Miss football coach is trolling.
Well,
I think that is a possibility.
It's a default setting, so yeah, that's.
But I do not know the status of any of his relationships, personal or otherwise.
Personal,
but I wish the very best for everyone involved. Yeah, Mark is right. Chase loves this story. Neal hates it. That is a lot of truth to this. No. Own it.
I'm just doing the news.
Own it.
I'm just doing the news.
No, own it. Just take.
I gotta fill 78 minutes with something, and here we go.
Take possession of Mark's comment. It is accurate.
Emily's only been working for Sports Illustrated for about 3 months now, so I mean, she's going.
Shocker.
She has an Instagram post from October the 18th. It says, "Guys, I have some news. Got a job with Sports Illustrated. When I was a kid, I used to tear out the posters from SI and tack them on the wall. Now I get to write for them." It's just a journalism dream come true. Local girl makes good. What is it?
Yeah, this is where I become the big asshole. It's the absurd part of this. Yes. I say something bad about a person I've never met, I turn into a big jerk.
She has a public Instagram account. I clicked it. Can't help it.
How old is she? Roughly 20s?
My guess is 25 years old.
So when she was a kid, Sports Illustrated had posters? Sports Illustrated has been dead more than 10 years.
Well, I mean, she was like 8. It was 15 years ago.
Okay. I remember when I got Sports Illustrated as a birthday present. It was awesome. I would read it cover to cover. It would usually arrive on Thursdays. I would read it cover to cover. Everything. I read everything in it. Loved it. It was the coolest gift I ever got. Got it and it just became a recurring thing. And then when the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue started showing up once a year, now I was in.
That was the birthday present. Well, I mean, Sports Illustrated, no. I mean, you did. You read everything. It was great writing, reporting. It was timely. It was all those things. I mean, for somebody who didn't switch even genres or something, like maybe the biggest downfall in credibility ever was like Rick Riley, because he was so good, and then he became just a character of himself once he left SI and was awful. I don't even know where he is now. No clue. But,
yeah.
I mean, he had Backpage and good shit, and like then it went.
No, it was phenomenal. The whole magazine was great. The writing was off the charts good. It made me want to be a writer. That magazine. Loved it.
Yeah, Neal's going to get on that, Eric. He's going to write an article comparing and contrasting Lane's record at married versus single versus in relationships. We'll have that at rebelgrove.com here in about 6 weeks. Do some research, talk to some people.
I'd literally rather cut myself and slowly bleed out. I mean, I get that he's trolling people. I'll take a serious moment here.
Uh-huh.
The people that write about this is, you might as well put at the top of your thing, this is clickbait, please click.
Oh, well, yeah.
But put it out 100%. Loud and go, this is clickbait, please click. This isn't journalism. I mean, I realize he's putting it in the public domain. I get it.
I said SI for kids had posters.
Okay. There you go.
So had the kid edition.
Okay.
I apologize, Emily.
Same. For the record, I said nothing about Emily. I just asked a question. I'm sure she's wonderful. I'm sure her parents are very proud.
Neal can embed at the local Chili's. They got 2 for $1 on the drafts.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so. They used to. Chili's used to do 2 for $1 whales, drafts, and margaritas.
I mean, we've talked about this before. Chili's, you can make Chili's work. It's about expectations.
Talking about embedding or making, has a human ever been more uncomfortable than when we told Jeffrey to go stalk Jimmy Sexton and Laramie Tunsil at second line that time?
No.
Remember that?
That was not fair of us.
It was not fair at all.
We shouldn't have done that.
Oh, no, I mean, Eric makes a good point. Emily's winning today. People are clicking. Her bosses are thrilled with her this morning.
He retweeted it.
That's what I mean.
No, today's a
gold.
Dub. Today's a dub.
The bonus is coming today.
The bonus. Everything I hear about that place is predatory.
You get any magazines in the mail?
Laura gets Mobile Bay Monthly still.
Really?
I think it's free because she used to work there.
Okay. I signed up for something.
Laura gets the Ole Miss Alumni Association magazine.
Okay.
It's addressed to Mrs. Laura McCready.
Is it really?
Yeah. We always get a kick out of it. It's like being trolled. I laugh every time.
I've bought stuff from like kids.
I was like,
selling,
look, Laura, your alma mater sent you something.
Kids selling subscriptions. So I think I get like Golf Digest and GQ because it was like $2 to like help the kids with some sort of something. But
yeah.
I don't even keep them to open them. I just throw them away when they come in. I don't know the last time I sat down and went, I'm going to read a magazine.
I mean, no, it's total change. Remember when Newsweek was a big deal? I mean, Newsweek was an opinion shifter. Time.
Yeah.
I remember my parents getting Time magazine, and it was like that was high
appointment for the day.
That was high intellectual reading there.
Weekly or
totally
serious, or every 2 weeks?
It was weekly.
Was it?
Yeah. Like there was stuff in Time magazine. It was a different era of journalism completely than today. Oh my God.
Tupelo, that post will appear on some Ole Miss message board today that Lane should worry more about portal recruiting than his ex-wife. That thread will appear somewhere in the ecosystem.
Yeah, I hate to break it to people, but I'm not sure some of you guys, I know it's not directed at Tupelo here, but I'm not sure some of you guys are really paying attention to the portal. There's some stuff happening and more specifically not happening in the portal that I think is pretty interesting.
Well, I mean, talk about it. We predicted this, but we didn't know to what level. And I get January still has to come. I mean, Siski talks about he still thinks there's potentially some ripple effects that are coming that are major. But
I think Siski believes, I'm putting words in his mouth. We'll do a show this afternoon. He can correct me. I think he believes that some of these college coaches, when the playoffs are over, are taking NFL jobs.
Yeah, they're getting out, which would thus allow their entire roster to have another portal period.
Yeah.
At that point. But no, what's happening right now, if you look around, is that teams are paying to keep their own players outside of the quarterback position potentially. And because of that, the portal as a whole does not have the talent and the depth of talent that was in there even last year. Those guys just aren't even in the portal. I mean, Neal and I were talking before we hit the button this morning that I think Ole Miss, per at least one network, maybe two, they've got the number 3 portal class in the country right now. And when you look at it and you talk about strictly stats at the previous institutions, and if they can come to Ole Miss and be successes with those stats, very few players would fit that mold of, yes, that is what Ole Miss is requiring or asking of them at the next level. I mean, you're talking about, take 2 of the more high-profile ones, Princewell, Umanmielen at Nebraska, and the defensive end from LSU, whose name is escaping me right now.
Same. I can't remember.
They both are high upside guys. There's reasons to think that their pressures turn into sacks and tackles. And I did some deep dive stuff analytically that says that makes sense that you could expect the jump. But to what they have done to this level inside the SEC and the Big Ten is not satisfactory for what Ole Miss needs them to do.
No.
And you have a lot of that. So it's not that it's not going to work, but that is not the same hit rate as bringing in a bunch of Chris Pauls and Princeleys and Walter Nolan,
people who had
Trey Amos, where you went, hey, we know we're cooking with gas, and they just got to keep doing what they were doing.
Those are people who had performed at a high level at SEC schools. I mean, those are people who had performed at a high level at SEC schools. You knew what you were getting. These are projects. These are people that, if you're honest, you'd never heard of them before.
Womack, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Deshaun Womack did not do a whole lot at LSU. He didn't.
No.
Doesn't mean that he won't do a whole lot at Ole Miss.
No, might kill, but
his game has to take a jump.
And that's a difference in the portal. And look, it's to your point of if coaches bail at some point.
I mean, I'll carry this on. Jeremiah Alexander is from Alabama. He's visiting this weekend. Everybody sees Alabama and goes, wow, Jeremiah Alexander. He hasn't done much at Alabama. Doesn't mean that he won't do something big at Ole Miss or wherever he goes. I'm not saying that. But to this moment, he hasn't done a whole lot. Ole Miss has got a visit. He came in and left. I didn't know about it till yesterday. Kapina Gushikin from Washington State. I've never heard of him before yesterday. So there will be this breathless, what is his decision going to be? Do you even know who he is? Michael Coates Jr., who's from Mississippi, played at Nevada.
Yeah.
Okay?
I remember him.
I mean, it's Ole Miss. It's West Virginia. I don't know anything about him. I'd never heard of Michael Coates Jr. before this weekend. Doesn't mean that he won't go to the Big 12 or the SEC and dominate. But this is not exactly Walter Nolan walking in the room where you're like, I know what I'm getting here.
And to your point, coaches who bail, they go, okay, I can't go in the portal necessarily and get my dudes like I was, but also I have a really hard time keeping the kid that's been here 2 years and hadn't played yet and is just now getting to where he can do it. So you end up doing this thing where you go, well, I know this portal guy is going to work, even though he hasn't played at his previous institution. They've developed him. He's ready for the breakout, but now we're going to pay him to do that. But on my side, I can't really keep my own player who I've developed that now might be ready for the breakout.
Yeah.
It's a poof. Your mind's in a pretzel at that point. They have one setting, Grind. He's talking about War Chant. Now Florida State's going to win 10 games again next year.
Yeah, and I can't really pick on them because it's become
it's everyone.
It's incredibly prevalent in what we do is just tell everybody in January that every one of these people are freaking awesome.
But they're telling people Pettis is going to play left tackle next year.
Well, he might.
He might.
I mean, playing it and being proficient at it are two different things. And I like Micah. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he has a wonderful career.
I do too.
Hope he goes to the NFL and plays 15 seasons. I like the kid.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy him. I enjoy talking to him.
I do too.
He's a fun kid. He's smart. He's funny. He actually has a personality. He's not a robot. I hope Micah does really, really well. I have serious skepticism about his ability to thrive as a left tackle in the National Football League. But I hope he does it. I hope he proves me wrong. I'd be thrilled for him. I mean, if I looked out on a field in 2 years and see Micah Pettis playing left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, I would be, wow, good for you, bud. Happy for your family. Good for you.
But demanding and expecting it is a whole different ballgame.
But if you ask me, would you bet on it or against it? I'd go against it right now.
Yeah, sure.
Name your price. Hope I'm wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. The Florida State is doing that version with Pettis that other teams are doing with other guys where you go, well, hey, we think we might have something. Okay, maybe.
You might. But most results show that you probably don't.
Yeah. And he will be much better against ACC defensive ends than SEC defensive ends.
Yeah, because they're worse.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. No, look, and he got paid. My understanding is he got paid.
Got paid.
And so good for him. I mean, go over there. He's going to play the kid from Duke instead of the kid from Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Instead of playing the kid from Texas A&M, he's going to play a kid from Wake Forest.
Yeah, Duke went 9-3 in the ACC, and sure, they had some opt-outs on offense. They didn't have opt-outs on defense, and Ole Miss could have scored 90 had they wanted to.
Yeah, look, I saw two ACC teams in person. I saw all I needed to see.
They sucked defensively.
They're horrible. That was a total mismatch, and you knew it. Even when Ole Miss did the little fake field goal thing,
because it didn't matter.
I was like, there were people that were like, "Oh my God, what was that?" I'm like, it doesn't matter.
They'll get it back.
I saw what just happened. Unless they make this a 5-minute game, this is over. I mean, I literally turned on the I don't remember who they were playing. I turned the Clippers, I think. I turned the Thunder Clippers game on my computer. I knew where this was going. Started writing. I was 90% sure going into the game that Ole Miss was going to blow Duke out. I watched the first 6 plays from scrimmage and went, this is an absolute mauling.
No, they could have played 100 times and Ole Miss was winning all 100 times.
100 times.
Duke could not win that football game.
No chance. And it wasn't because the quarterback was bad. He actually played really hard and did okay.
I mean, I will say that. I mean, outside of a couple exceptions, Mark gets a good point. I would rather have the SEC guy who's at least developed and been in those systems for a couple years versus the mid-major guy on average. Who you go, hey, I hope that stat translates, and it's like, ew.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
it's like outside of Troy Brown, that hadn't hit much.
No, at all.
I mean, that's one I pulled off the top of my head, but
that's a good example. I mean, he was. Even Chance Campbell played at the Power 4 level.
Yeah, sure.
And Troy spent the whole year. Trust me, I did a show with him every Sunday. He spent the whole year completely beat up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the physicality wore him down. Now, he rose to the occasion week after week, but he was not in a great place by the end of that year.
Yeah, Jacob Springer was a good player. He had all the stuff going on. Didn't ever get the full time, but he was good from Navy.
Solid.
Yeah, he was a good player.
He was solid. I don't know that he was a difference maker.
Mm-mm.
All right, I'll give you Dayton Wade. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, that counts.
It's solid. Yeah, sure.
Exactly what you wanted him to do. Come in and be a number 3 wide receiver.
Yeah, Mark Robinson was really good, but he was a late bloomer. I mean, there's examples, but I hate doing this because now you have to throw guys under the bus.
Yeah. But that hit rate's not the hit rate of the...
No, Rashad Amos. Just couldn't play.
Wasn't fast enough.
Just couldn't play. Could play in the MAC.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, and this is about a media coverage, is that people take these names and go, gotta have him. Why? Because he played at Colorado State?
He has a really cool helmet decal at a name program, or he has a really good ranking beside him for the portal ranking.
Yeah.
One of those two things.
But the same people that do that are the same ones that go, the only reason that he got ranked highly is because he went to Alabama. You can't have it both ways. I mean, yes, you can. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, in some ways, when he sucks, it goes, yeah, well, he wasn't ranked high, right? I mean,
see,
yeah,
he only got ranked high because he went to Alabama.
Uh-huh.
I'm not picking on that particular kid. He might end up being the next Ray Lewis. There's a reason that Alabama's letting him walk out the door.
It's math. You need a certain number of portal kids to hit because you're losing established, guaranteed players to the NFL into graduation. You can't have a hey, we're losing 12 guys who are great and then only replace them with 6 who are pretty good. Like that.
Yeah.
That net falls at that point. So yeah, I mean, look, you're gonna have mistakes. NFL GMs make mistakes and they have months to overthink and make it a big deal. You're gonna screw up. But when you're looking at roster capabilities, it's a hard thing to do because you have to develop, you have to sign, you got to find a way to keep some dudes you believe in. And then if you don't believe in somebody, you got to run them the hell off immediately. It's just the way it works. So, all right. You've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce, but have you had them covered in sauce? The new saucy nugs take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, Feral Heat Seeker, try spicy ghost pepper. Only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Let's see. Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products, people, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer. 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, those areas, call Southern. 662-429-4429. Brought to you by Window Hero. Window Hero Window Hero is they'll help you from window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. They have the experience, equipment, expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. The experts are fully bonded and insured. They provide specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, a satisfaction guarantee. They can clean up to 4 stories on buildings as well. 662-510-7077. To get an estimate, you can also go to windowhero.com. Don't forget to check out 10 Weekend Thoughts from Sunday. They're still up. Brought to you by Andrew Seago, Seago Wealth Management. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago, Seago Wealth Management, specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Also, Valentine's Day right around the corner. For a lot of people, that's a high-pressure holiday. Got to get that one right. I suggest Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a 4th-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and more. At Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler.
Podcast is also brought to you by NeSpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, Spark offers both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service. That's nespark.com. NeSpark. Get connected. Stay local. So, look, way too early. This is not as bad as a way too early top 25 because those are completely ridiculous. But this is just shy of that, talking about potential hot seats for next season. And I don't know if this is clickbait. I don't know if it's what the country likes talking about with SEC teams. But when I pulled the story up, I was just kind of looking for fodder. And as I'm looking at it, half the conference is listed as a potential hot seat for 2025 by ESPN in this article. So there are 8 SEC programs listed.
Okay.
There are only 11 programs listed from all other conferences combined. So they listed 19 coaches, and 8 are from the SEC, which I found weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to have 8 firings inside the SEC.
It's clickbait.
It's clickbait. The premise might be correct, is that a few years ago, we had one of the big splice years where you had Kelly leave and a lot of from Notre Dame to LSU and a lot of movement that had a big trickle-down effect and butterfly effect. Their argument is that next year could at least be some semblance of that because of several big-time jobs opening with us create some – because we didn't get that this time, at least as of date. We're not – it's a pretty stable year.
So far.
On the coaching so far.
Yeah.
So Norvell and Gundy lead the page.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. Both
sure.
days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Gundy had to renegotiate contracts and all kind of mess, and that's gotten ugly in Stillwater. Norvell's Norvell. They lead off with Brett Venables. I agree with that at Oklahoma. He is on a hot seat.
Very hot.
That is completely...
Maybe the hottest one in the league.
Yeah. Oklahoma was fine this year not competing, but that is a one-year attitude.
Yeah, they went 6 and 7, and they weren't, other than the win over Alabama, they were not competitive, really.
Yeah, they were one loss to Alabama for being real ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Freeze.
Yes. Scorching hot.
It is illogical.
You want a hot take?
Sure.
He's on a hotter seat than Sam Pittman.
It's not even the level of hot seat. Is what, and I believe you, I'm not criticizing, the level you're saying he has to win to avoid falling into the fire.
Yes.
Because it's nonsensical.
If you tell me, thought exercise, make me a scenario where Sam Pittman survives, I can do it. No problem. I could pull their schedule up and I could make it work. If you tell me, make a scenario where Hugh Freeze survives, I'm going to strain the bounds of credulity. I mean, we can do it real quick if you want to do it. I got to pull up schedules. Hold on. I'll do it.
And we don't have O'Neal still.
I'll prove my point. Let me pull up.
Who are we pulling up? I can help. Who do you want?
Arkansas 2025 football schedule.
All right, you're doing that one. You may do Auburn.
Yeah, pull Auburn up so we can do it. All right. So this is Arkansas, and my goal here, for the record, before everybody turns this into me doing W's and L's, my goal here is to provide a scenario in which Sam Pittman survives.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, sure.
They open with Alabama A&M. It's a win. They get Arkansas State and Little Rock. Now, I think that's a little iffy, but I'm going to give them a win.
You think that's iffy?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. It's fine. Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
They go at Ole Miss, at Memphis. I'm going to give them one of the two. So they'll give Memphis.
Okay.
3-1. Probably lose to Notre Dame. Probably lose at Tennessee. 3-3. In a little trouble. You get Texas A&M at home this time. I'm not convinced Texas A&M is a world beater anymore. I'm not doing it this year. And so I'm going to give them a win.
Let's see, January 7th. What day is that going to change? Sometime around August
4-3.
4th. Okay.
4-3. They get Auburn at home. We're going to talk about Auburn in a minute.
Yeah, I got it.
Auburn could be chaos by October 25th.
Their schedule sucks. Yeah.
They get Mississippi State at home.
Okay.
So I'm going to give them one of those two. I've got them at 5 wins now. 5-6 wins. At LSU, I think LSU is a candidate for chaos. They'll lose in Austin. I think they could beat Missouri at home.
Maybe.
So if I get him to 6-7 wins, is it conceivable that he survives that? Sure. So if you say draw a scenario, and I'll put on my hog hat here. Let's pull an upset somewhere. We're in.
Yeah, you're fine.
You beat Alabama A&M. You beat Arkansas State. You beat Memphis. That's 3. You beat A&M or Auburn at home. That's 4. You beat Mississippi State. That's 5. And you beat Missouri. That's 6. Give me an upset. At Ole Miss, home against Notre Dame, at Tennessee, at LSU. Give me one of those games. Hell, he might get a raise. I'm not predicting that'll happen.
Yeah, they might go 3-9. That's not the point.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
People lose the point, so you have to say it over and over and over. The thought exercise here is paint a scenario in which he survives. I can do it.
And you think on the inverse of that, Hugh Freeze has to win at least 10 games to avoid getting fired.
Yes.
Because you think he has to make the playoff to avoid getting fired, and you make the playoff at 10-2.
Bobblefish, their quarterback's the same one this year. Taylor Green's back.
Okay.
And he was decent. Arkansas went 7-6.
Auburn doesn't have a gimme in week 1. They're at Baylor in week 1.
No.
That's not a gimme.
No.
Hugh loses weird games. That's not a gimme. Ball State in week 2. That's 1. South Alabama in week 3. Going to win that one. And we don't have to go week by week. The point is 10-2 means you beat everyone but Alabama and Georgia if you don't beat one of those two teams.
You want me to screw them right off the bat? Here we go. I'll do it. They lose at Baylor. They either lose at Oklahoma or at Texas A&M. And
it's over right there.
It's over. It's done.
And they have a bye week October 4th.
Bye week on October 4th.
They have an early bye right there.
And then they get Georgia at home. They get Missouri at home. They got to go to Arkansas, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt with Diego Pavia, who's beat them twice in a row now.
I do. Maybe I'm wrong, and I cede all Alabama knowledge to you completely. I do think I agree with Larry Joe. If you go 9 and one of them's Bama, you're probably skin of your teeth survive.
Sure, maybe.
But barely. That's the only scenario at 9-3.
But again, lose to Baylor, doable. Lose either to Oklahoma or at Texas A&M, both of those games on the road. And at the end of September, it's over. You're not surviving.
And Georgia's next up.
And everyone knows it. See, that's the difference. Hot seat, which seat's hotter? Hughes is hotter. Because there's no expectation
now,
at
the
Arkansas.
inverse of that for Hugh, I mean, if he has a lifeline, it's that, especially if you think Bama is just kind of trending and whatever, and we'll get to them in a minute. After Georgia, pretty manageable. Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mercer, and Alabama at home. Pretty manageable.
Yeah.
On the back half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally, I think they're going to go 8-4. And you think at that point he can pack his stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's early, whatever. But
yeah, no, he doesn't survive 8-4. Unless there's a financial crisis at Auburn.
Sure. Okay. Luke Fickle's there. Sure, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, don't care. Kalen DeBoer's on the list. Are you firing DeBoer after 2?
How bad? How bad's it get?
8-4.
Maybe.
Okay.
I put nothing past that program. Expectations, perception, reality.
DeBoer's first season seemed to confirm fears that whether he could succeed in a different region, especially while replacing a legend, after missing the CFP and losing to undermanned Michigan, he will need to deliver more in year 2, even with athletic director Greg Byrne firmly in his corner. He ultimately might be a better fit elsewhere, such as USC, but certainly wants to show he can win in the SEC first.
Yeah. I mean, you could show me a scenario where he gets to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, gone.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, there's no buyout stuff.
Okay.
We'll just go. Yeah, sure.
Mark Stoops.
I mean, he's only there now because of finances.
They're paying him $9 million a year. $9 million. Tony Elliott.
I would guess that Stoops is gone after next season.
That's fine. They owe him 75% of his remaining salary if they were to make a change. And he signed at $9 million a year through 2030. So you got to pay him about $40 million to fire him.
Good day to be Mark Stoops.
I'm doing quick math there, but
I mean, you wake up every day
mil.
as Mark Stoops, and when she says, "How you doing?" "How'd you sleep?" "Great, phenomenally. Life is good."
You know, when you got that buyout coming, you're not even really that upset when you leave it, when you lose a game and you head home at night, are you? You're going, hey, at the end of this thing.
I mean, really? No. Just the personal.
I mean, I know you're competitive and blah, blah, blah.
The personal pride and stuff, but no. Are you stressed? No, you have no concerns. You're good.
Tony Elliott. Okay.
Sure.
Impossible job. He's actually done a really good job. It's just Virginia.
Yeah.
I think he's done well.
Whatevs.
Lincoln Riley is on the list, but he's owed around $80 million to fire him.
Well, I mean, they've got it if they want it.
Oh, my God. 7 years left and a buyout of $80 million. I know.
I mean,
I know.
Good day to be him.
Brian Kelly.
I think he's in trouble.
He's owed $52 million if you'd like to fire him.
And financially, that's going to be a strain for them. But tell me how bad it gets. Because at some point, he's got to get nationally competitive. You can't be 8-4 at LSU and expect people to be happy. They're just not. Perception, reality. If you've listened to this show long enough, you know what I'm talking about. It's real.
Brent Brennan at Arizona. I have no freaking idea or don't care.
Yeah, again.
Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati. Okay.
If you say so.
Jeff Lebby. It's not fair to him in any capacity if it's true.
I mean, sure.
But you're just at that point, you're saving your own self as a program and going, we know we can't win, so let's just reset the clock and do it again and save ourselves for 2 more years. Yeah. Because you're admitting you can't win.
So you fire Zach Arnett, who becomes a hot commodity as a defensive coordinator. If you fire Jeff Lebby, he becomes a hot commodity as an offensive coordinator. And then what do? You got to hire somebody. Who are you going to blame now? You're going to bring in a new dude and just blame him.
I mean, I'm with you. Fire Lebby for what? I mean, what has he done wrong?
Nothing.
He had no talent, and he went 2-10, 0-8. Okay.
Yeah, no.
And you're not exactly loading him up with talent for next season.
At no point did I watch them last season and go, you know what? They are a poorly coached team.
I actually thought they played pretty hard for him, and
Yeah.
he did a good job with Van Buren.
Did the best he could. Lost his quarterback, had to go to the freshman, and actually turned him into a pretty good player. Van Buren still there?
No, he left and went to LSU.
Oh, that's right. He's at LSU.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jeff goes, see?
Yeah. Sam Pittman.
Yeah, we've covered it. I mean, I think this is it. I think there are some signs that they are preparing to make a move. I think there's some real signs there.
ESPN thinks he's got to win 7 to keep his gig.
Yeah. That's probably right.
About right.
And might have to win more. He won 7 this year.
I think this is clickbait unless they're just a completely psycho fan base, but they still have Billy on the list.
Yeah, he's not.
It's hard to buy.
I think Billy's fine.
Votes of confidence are often bad signs for coaches, but Napier validated his with how Florida finished the season. That some thought would be his last in Gainesville, and navigated a brutal schedule, finished hot. He has promising young quarterback in Lagway, an improving roster that includes a top 10 recruiting class, but his record's just 19-19 at Florida, a program still seeking its first CFP appearance. The 2025 schedule doesn't let up much, and Napier must build on what he just did. And I don't know. Yeah. Virginia Tech, Brent Pree. Whatever. Justin Wilcox is a good coach. Cal's program sucks.
Yeah, he would.
He's a really good coach.
He would have offers within hours.
He'd be a good fit at Wisconsin. If they fired Fickle.
Yeah.
He'd do a good job with the Badgers. And then they think retirement likely coming for Kirk Ferenz and Kyle Whittingham.
Okay.
Utah, Iowa.
Sure. My guess on Pittman, by the way, is that it's a retirement.
Yeah, sure. You're not, I mean, come on.
It's a quasi-educated guess.
So that's your list. I mean, Napier's the only one that's completely far-fetched, in my opinion.
I mean, is Lagway getting hurt? Because otherwise, they're winning games next year.
And if he gets hurt, you're not firing him.
Right. Billy's done fine.
Yeah.
People stop.
It's not the job everybody freaking thinks it is.
No, it's fine.
Everybody keeps going, well, they won titles with Spurrier and Urban Meyer. Well, yeah, thanks. Awesome.
Yeah.
And Dan Mullen's a good football coach.
Really good. He is. He won 10 games twice at Mississippi State.
He did.
I rest my case.
He'll win at UNLV.
Of course. People at ESPN who worked with him really liked him.
Yeah. Now his program went to hell in a handbasket at Florida. Had all sorts of off-the-field stuff.
Sure.
Iowa went 8-5 after the bowl loss.
I think that's
Missouri.
right. Yeah.
Okay. They were not in the national conversation. I don't remember much about Iowa at all this season.
I'm not the right person for this because I don't watch every bowl game. But their bowl game was entertaining. I sat at a bar in Jacksonville.
Missouri,
and watched
Iowa.
It. Yeah, it was an entertaining game.
Yeah, last 20 minutes, I was like, okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm in.
It was a good game. It was fine. Both teams played pretty hard. I mean, who did Illinois play? South Carolina? That ended up actually being a really entertaining game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had the kind of the carnival aspect of it.
They continued for 3 or 4 days later with both coaches still taking shots back and forth.
Yeah.
That went on and on for several days. And it's like, it's a bowl game.
And yet when they shook hands at midfield, nothing happened. It's like, come on. Don't say nothing to him and then go to the press conference and act
You think Shane could stay away from Burt long enough to win on endurance there?
I don't think they were going to fight, but I mean, say it to his face. I want to like Shane Beamer.
We start getting up to the line and going, maybe I can tolerate you.
I want to like him.
And then
stuff like that happens, and I'm like,
because he did a good job this year on the field. He coached well.
Well, they got mad at Illinois for substituting. Well, then stop substituting on offense, dumbass. Then they can't. But when you do mass substitutions, the referee or whoever, the umpire, whatever the title is going to go stand over the ball and give you an opportunity to substitute. And then when you tell your big, fat defensive lineman to run slowly, they do. I mean, I'm just sitting there drinking a beer in Jacksonville going, I'm kind of for Illinois here. I mean, I don't care. I'm watching the game going,
no, I don't see how State wins 10 games in this format.
in a single season?
Yeah, I don't.
Stop.
I don't mean now. I mean period.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it then. I mean, because Mullen's really
They developed really well.
He did a really
They
good
locked
job.
down enough inside the state. They did pretty well with JUCOs. They got into West Alabama.
And he caught a break with Ole Miss being in hell and
Yeah.
Hugh and all this stuff.
Yeah.
He took the first shot. It was a bait shot, and Ole Miss bit the hook.
Willpower was not a strong suit during that era from anybody. Couldn't just.
No, Ross and Hugh. Lots of people got up in their feels.
It's a different time.
Yeah, it was that.
It was a different time. So that's the story. It's up at ESPN.com.
Yeah,
I'm
a ginger. Bert was laughing about it. That wasn't personal to him. He was just playing the game. And he went over there and had a little fun with them. And they were all emotional and just, I mean, South Carolina should have won that game.
Well, I mean, Quentin, you're making my point. I think Shane should have moved on and then told his kids to move on too. The fact that he kept going was my problem, not that his players acted in any certain way.
Well, if you wanted to stop Illinois from doing the substitution thing, don't substitute on offense, and they won't.
They can't. Yeah, right.
I mean, just keep running.
Mm-hmm.
Make their big fat guys chase Lenora Sellers all day. It's not going to end well.
Yeah.
But when you do substitutions and you bring in another tight end and another receiver and you switch your running backs or whatever,
the guy's going to go.
The rules are the referee has to go stand on the ball and give the other team an opportunity to match the substitutions. So Illinois stretched the limits.
They stalled it. Yeah. One of the reasons why Lane doesn't substitute.
No, it's the reason.
Yeah,
it's not one of the reasons. It's the reason. You wear the defense out because they can't substitute. You go super fast. It's what Jeff Lebby did when he was the coordinator at Ole Miss. It overcame some of the offensive line deficiencies. They went so fast that you wore out the big, fat defensive lineman on the other team.
Mm-hmm. So the one advantage you got on offense these days. So up front.
Yeah, so you use it.
Yeah.
But when you substitute, it shouldn't shock you. Like, Shane, I'm like, why are you upset? You substituted. When you substitute, the referee is compelled, or the umpire or whatever, is compelled to walk up to the line of scrimmage and put his hand up and tell the center and the quarterback, hey, you got to give me a minute. You can't snap it yet. And you got to give the defense an opportunity to match the substitution.
Yeah.
And so Illinois turned that into a 25-second exercise because they wanted to shorten the game.
We'll look at hoops in a second. First, tell you about the Citizens Bank, not just an account number, but a valued member of the community. And if you find yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try. Whit Wilson, maybe you know in the mortgage space, now at the Citizens Bank and ready to help you with your real estate goals. Stop by and visit 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E in Oxford, to discuss your options with Whit or any of their experienced bankers. Also, while you're in there, check out the School Spirit debit cards. Ask about them. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com.
When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team, time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. So call Argent Wealth 401k advisory services team today, and they'll conduct a complimentary, no obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Argent on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allow him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with him if you're trying to make a trip one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. You don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services either. 901-494-3387 or Jay Edwards at regencytravel.net. I get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. The January contest with the Franchise of the Month is up at rebelgrove.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses and uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or you can call him at 404-973-9901.
The men's clinic is located in Madison and Brandon. So if you're experiencing things like low energy levels, no motivation, decrease in muscularity, increase in belly fat, low sex drive, and more, they are here to help you. You can make an appointment. themanthing.com is where you go to do that. You make that first appointment. You go see them. They run through tests. They help you out. They put you on a plan. It's not a cookie cutter plan. They do what is needed for you. They're doing it for me right now, and they can help you out. After that, they also look at you no matter where you are. They can treat you from anywhere, because their mission and their goal is to make sure you remain as healthy and strong as possible throughout the aging process by optimizing testosterone and much more. That's in Madison, 601-607-7869, or Brandon, 769-241-9012. Again, themanthing.com. Somebody asking me on the stream a little earlier when I'm going to talk more about what's going on with me. I think in probably about 2 weeks, I'm going to go back. I guess I got to get some more blood work, and I want to compare that to the first. So I'm kind of doing some different things to make sure you guys have kind of a start to where I currently am and see some changes or differences. And we'll go through the blood work. We'll look at what they're doing and how it is helping me, both in how I'm feeling and what the data says as well. So again, themanthing.com. Every single week is going to be pretty good from an SEC basketball standpoint, because that's what happens when you have 13 teams that are potentially tournament teams, and you have teams that are all inside the top 60 in the KenPom outside of South Carolina at 72 or 74 or wherever they're sitting. This morning, might have been higher than that. Might have been like 68. But nonetheless, one key big game tonight, Tennessee and Florida, is kicking it off at ESPN2, 6 o'clock in Gainesville there. Volunteers still undefeated on the season. They are 14-0. Florida 13-1. They did not have a loss until that 106-100 loss at Kentucky on Saturday. Yeah,
that'd be a good game tonight.
Florida favored by 2.5.
I will miss that one, but I will. I'll be interested to see the
score. You got soccer tonight. How are we bundling for a cold, wet evening of standing around at like 7:30 tonight?
Thermals, layers, gloves, hat,
scarf.
Probably break out the scarf.
Okay. Like the thickest gloves you can find, or do you use some where you can still like push your phone, or like what?
I'll put the phone away.
Okay.
Although Laura will be like, update the score, and I'm just like, I'll do the best I can, but it is cold. Yeah, and then I've got like one of those big sleeping bags that's opened up. I have found don't sit. I'll go stand somewhere. And that way I can
Does that help a little bit?
I can move a little. If you sit, you just become a frozen block of ice.
Is it metal bleachers?
It's high school.
Yeah, so the answer is yes.
Yeah. And then you look out on the field and like Carson's out there just jersey and shorts.
Oh, not even a sleeve?
He almost never wears sleeves.
I'd have to at least put the sleeve on.
I guess it's a mental thing. I told him yesterday, we were out walking the dogs, and I'm like, dude, you're going to have to put some clothes on.
I get he's not carrying the ball, but I saw Belichick in something he was doing, some interview clip, talking about how when it was really cold in New England, they made all the skill players wear sleeves because they didn't want the ball hitting slick skin.
Oh.
So they always made sure they wore sleeves because they didn't want slick skin touching the ball at that point.
I've never played soccer. The one thing I notice on the really cold nights is that as the game progresses, the ball sounds different. Like the ball sounds like they're hitting a rock.
I mean, I would assume that it's some level of the same thing as baseball. I mean, high school baseball is played in a really crappy time of the year too. And I can remember you don't feel the ball. It's hard. I mean, you can't get the seams because you can't feel it.
It's frozen.
I mean, you're just grabbing and trying to whatever, and it doesn't work. And everything hurts. Catching the ball hurts.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was like when the season started and it was really cold.
You get one in the palm and oh my God. And
the ball would get hit wrong and you'd catch it not in the webbing, and your hand would hurt for a month. Or when you hit and you got it off the hands, aluminum.
That can happen in golf too. You catch it wrong and it
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, you thought you were about to hit it off the barrel and it kind of cut in a little bit and you hit it right off the hands, and the vibration, you felt the vibration in the cold weather till like the next Tuesday.
Kentucky is in Athens on tonight, 6 o'clock SEC Network, so same time as Tennessee and Florida.
Big spot for Mike there.
It's a big spot.
Probably need to get a dub.
Kentucky favored by 1.5 in that one on the road. So both, let's see, Kentucky road team, and Florida is favored at home against Tennessee, 2.5. Auburn is on the road in Austin tonight, facing the Texas Longhorns.
What's that line?
10.5. Auburn minus 10.5 on the road.
I might lay them. I don't. Auburn's good, like really, really. And Janai Broome,
he's awesome.
He's
awesome.
The way Auburn works him in the pick and roll is just beautiful to watch. It's almost indefensible, and they have a couple of guards that you really can't hedge them. You got to. It's with Auburn. They're one of the few college teams that you sort of like. You see this in the NBA all the time. Everybody can shoot it, and so you have to pick your poison. Like you literally have to look at the poisons and go, that one is probably the least lethal one. In college, there's usually things you can do. Like you can go, that guy's not going to kill us, so we're not even going to guard him. Like you want to shoot 10 threes, son, do it. You're going to make one, and we'll live with it. With Auburn, they have so many weapons that you kind of have to choose your poison, and there just aren't many college teams that are good enough defensively to do that. And then they get going, and they're really well coached, and they defend well, and
it's a mess.
Auburn's tough, man. Auburn, Tennessee, tough. I don't read it. It's like if I'm Missouri, if I'm Arkansas, I'm not taking a lot of negative from going to Auburn and Knoxville and getting skull drugged. I'm just not. I'm kind of moving on.
No, you're at the point where even ranked teams like Ole Miss or Oklahoma or somewhere, when you're talking about, hey, making the tournament, how you're getting there and how you stack up in the league, you almost take those first 4 teams and just push them off to the side.
Yeah.
You go, we're not trying to be Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee. That's not where you are.
No.
Because those 3 are all really, really good. Nationally elite Final Four teams.
Auburn and Tennessee are better than Bama, though.
They are.
This year. And Bama's good. Like Phelan, the kid from Mobile, stud. Just a stud.
Yeah, you get better coaching, you get more money, you get more resources, and suddenly look up.
But
better teams.
But watch Broome in the pick and roll game. It's exceptional.
Yeah, Moody Center.
So good.
152.5 on a total, 10.5 minus Auburn there. Again, in that one, that's 8 o'clock on ESPN2 tonight, so that's the back end of your doubleheader. Texas and Auburn.
Okay.
ESPNU tonight on that back end. Mississippi State at Vanderbilt, so State can steal a road game here on the road to get off to a quick start.
Played well though.
They won at LSU.
That might be an interesting game.
They are the one road team to win from Saturday.
I think State's really good. I think State's bad underrated right now.
And then LSU, who we don't think is a tournament team, they're one of the ones that's outside and looking in here, even from early in the season. But this is a weird spot for them because you lose that game to Vandy, which you didn't have on the bingo card if you're trying to get to 8 or 9 or whatever you're doing. And now you go to Missouri. You're probably going to lose in Como tonight. And then you're 0-2 with losses to Vanderbilt and Missouri. And it's like, ugh, you're kind of already in a weird spot there if you're the Tigers.
Doors, I think this is one of those deals. He asked, is college basketball becoming a better product than the NBA? College basketball doesn't shoot 100 threes in a game. I think this is a beauty in the eye of the beholder thing. It's a big difference. College basketball teams don't shoot that many threes because analytically they can't make them. NBA teams shoot those threes because they have so many guys who can shoot better than 40% from three. That's why they take those shots. But if you watch the really good teams in the NBA this year, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Thunder, the Grizzlies. There's others, but those are the ones that immediately come to mind. The Knicks. If you watch those teams, they're not just living on the three ball. They're playing exceptionally good defense. Like the Thunder right now are playing NBA record-setting defense. They're winning with defense. The really good teams are winning with defense. Yes, there are teams in the NBA that take way too many threes, but they take the threes because the analytics support the three.
40% at 3 is better than 50% at 2 or whatever the math says.
Yes. Analytics have changed in other sports too. Like nobody does.
And they don't really care how the sport looks. I mean, frankly.
Right. No, they're just trying to win games. But
I think it's hurt baseball a ton. It's hurt baseball versus hurt basketball with the whole 3 outcome thing.
Of course.
I mean, it's why they're literally changing the rules to put more small ball in the game.
Well, when I was a kid, Ricky Henderson stole 100 bases all the time. Now you would never let a guy steal that many bases because if he gets thrown out analytically, you screwed up. Now you're not trying to move the runner in Major League Baseball, not until the 9th inning. How many guys even have a 2-strike approach anymore? 15 years ago, everybody had a 2-strike swing. You had a swing and a 2-strike swing. Yeah. Not anymore.
Yeah, choke up and put it in play.
Yeah, no, let's make contact. No, you don't want to do that now. You have shifts now. Hey, you got to hit it into the shift. You got to do all these. The game has completely changed. Pitching with the tunneling, the technology has changed pitching completely. Completely.
Well, the pitching's actually what changed and made the offenses change because they said, hey, the pitching is so good, I don't think you can string 3 hits in a row together. So try to maximize one.
Yeah, and I'm with Alan here. Like he says, the Grizzlies lead the league in paint points, top 5 offense and defense while missing guys all season. Yeah, the Grizzlies have been fun to watch. I mean, Taylor Jenkins has done a tremendous job in Memphis. They're really good. And they're not wild 3-point shooting team. Neither are the Thunder. Neither are the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, it's just not how he says people who talk about hating the NBA don't watch the NBA. I agree with that completely. And that's fine. You don't have to like it. That's cool. I get it. But it's the people that do the NBA is a horrible product thing are the people that only watch SportsCenter to watch the ESPN people go crazy about Steph and LeBron. The Warriors and the Celtics are not even in the mix right now of teams that are truly competitive.
It's different. So maybe you said maybe your answer here is going to be when it's done well. The NFL can go year-round with a calendar because of free agency, draft, soap opera. What's he doing? The soap opera for a while helped the NBA. It hurts it now, in a way.
Because
to the average sports fan.
Yeah, I mean, I
know you're not the average sports fan in that realm. So
no, but look, the NBA. Here's the thing.
Because I just don't care. I'm actually a good thing here because I don't have no problem with the NBA. I sort of like the Mavs. I watch some Grizzlies.
Sure.
If it's on, I love watching the Celtics play, but don't even know the team.
Sure.
But the other stuff, I just kind of go, ugh. Because I don't have a... So
I'm curious, when you say other stuff, like what do you mean? Like the Jimmy Butler crap?
some of that, even just talking heads beating a lot of the topics to death in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's because I don't have a rooting interest.
Yeah.
It's because
See,
I'm
this
not
is where I think I
like
benefit.
College football. Most people have a fan and a team and a person. I don't. So I go, I just don't give a shit.
See, this is where I think you and I are different than a lot of the people even that listen to us. Is I think, like, I never watch it, but like Stephen A. and Skip Bayless and all those cats, Shannon Sharp, I can't imagine watching that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you offered me, hey, do you want to go out and work on your pool in the cold or watch First Take? Can I wear gloves? I have no interest in First Take. So I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like yesterday, the Joy, what's her name? The suit with Skip.
Yeah.
I had no interest in that because I didn't know who the hell they were talking about.
I saw Cliff Notes and didn't even read the entire thing. I stopped before I understood it all the way.
But no, the NBA does not do a very good job at all of marketing its teams. They just don't. They're terrible at it. The NFL's awesome at it. The NFL is great with brands. I don't even have an NFL team. Here's the truth. I watch the NFL because it's part of a Sunday exercise that I do in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really care. Like the NFL playoffs start Saturday.
Yeah.
Chase, I don't care at all.
Yeah, you weren't locked into that.
I mean, I'll turn it on because it ends up usually being pretty good football and it's a good product. But like, I don't pay attention to the drama and the stuff. I just watch it. It's whatever. It's fine. The NBA's done a horrible job. Major League Baseball's done a horrible job.
Major League Baseball is the worst.
There's a void of strong marketing. But it's why I always send this like warning signs out for college sports. I'm a believer that the average person likes to cheer for people.
Yeah.
More than uniforms.
It was the reason college baseball at Ole Miss was so successful because they were so relatable. They were so available.
Yep.
You got content constantly. You knew them. They signed all the autographs, and they did it for 3 years.
Sometimes 4.
Yeah.
Lance Lynn pitched for you for 3 years. You knew him on Friday nights. You knew Pomeranz. You knew Stephen Head. You knew I'm not as good at this as you are.
Jacob Gonzalez, Nikhazy, do it. I mean, you're good. Yeah,
Gray, Thomas Dillard. Those were people that Tim Elko played for, 4 years?
Yeah.
You knew those people. And when you get away from that, I think you get into a danger zone. It's why the NBA does such a bad job because, like, I watched the Celtics the other day. That team's been together a minute. They play really good basketball. They're fun. There seem to be a collection of, at least as compared to other professional athletes, good people. And the NBA just doesn't market them.
Mm-mm.
It's just Steph, and LeBron. And the truth is, both of those guys are they're aging, and they're playing on teams that, quite frankly,
competing.
Don't really have a chance to win a title.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, one look at the football NFL draft when we come back. First, the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom. It's located on the Ole Miss campus and aims to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. The center offers an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, you can go to the website. That is independence.olemiss.edu, or send an email to Stephen Scoltetti at freedom@olemiss.edu.
Located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana, Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it. They've got the Doctor. It's Dr. Juice. It's a new go-to IPA, highly crushable juice bomb. They've got Ghost in the Machine, double IPA. Just is an outstanding beer. If you like double IPAs, it's just excellent. Very smooth. You'll like it. Anything that you get from our friends at Parish Brewing Company, you'll absolutely love. So make sure when you're at a bar, at your grocery store, wherever that you get your beer, look for Parish. Well, we're brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. Call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email him at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. We'll have picks up Thursday morning in time for the playoffs, assuming that the playoffs get started on time. That's brought to you by Kaiser Flooring with locations in Oxford and Batesville. Kaiser Flooring provides outstanding quality flooring products and installation services to residential and commercial properties. Kaiser Flooring carries the best in hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and tile flooring, as well as carpeting. Their goal is to offer amazing, durable flooring products and superior services to make your life easier. It's KaiserFlooring.com. You can also call them in Oxford or Batesville.
Podcast also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and they offer medicine. Free prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. Everything you need when you need it with G&M. So, again, they can transfer those things. One phone call. They take care of the rest in Holly Springs or Oxford, 662-236-2222. The FCS Championship game was pretty fun last night. I watched a good bit of it. North Dakota State winning by 3. I know you're shocked over Montana State in the final. I found myself pulling fairly hard for a Montana State team that I knew literally zero about coming into the night. They were 15-0. They had not won a title since '84, and North Dakota State had eliminated them 4 times since 2018. And North Dakota State had 2 or 3 losses coming into last night. However, they pulled it out. They won by 3. The game ended on a punt. You don't see that very often. They tried to block it, got it off, and the clock ran out.
Because analytically, you have a better chance of blocking it than you do returning it.
Yeah, so
they rushed 11.
Yeah, but entertaining game. 2 teams from the Great North came to Texas, where it was 27 degrees at kickoff last night in Frisco, I think.
Yeah, probably pretty chilly.
But it was like 9 in Montana, so it was warmer.
Dallas is one of those places that you get all 4 seasons. And you get them kind of extremes. You get really hot summers, typically really cold winters.
Sneaky one like that is Omaha.
I can see that.
They get some pretty gnarly stuff in the winter, and it can get hot as hell in the College World Series.
OKC's that way.
Really?
Yeah. It's flat. When it's cold, it's cold.
It'll be a topic for tomorrow because we'll know a little more information here. Texas is saying they could get over a foot of snow on Thursday, Friday, somewhere in there. They've got a Cotton Bowl coming.
Yeah, Dallas isn't set up for a foot of snow.
No. So there were real rumblings yesterday that if the meteorologists are correct on their early predictions, that the Cotton Bowl could be moved from Friday or Thursday or whichever day it is.
To like Sunday?
I mean, it ends up being, I guess you have 10 days in between, so it's not as big of an advantage, but I mean, that is a big difference. You start giving one team 3 or 4 more days than another.
And this is where the sport was desperately trying to avoid going head-to-head with the NFL. Because you're going head-to-head with the NFL playoffs.
You don't want to do that.
You're not, hey, the Chiefs aren't playing anybody. They're going to lose to Denver 31-0, and Patrick Mahomes is going to drink Gatorade. Nope, everyone's going to play. So if you don't play it on Friday,
you're getting into the playoffs.
Unless you wait till Tuesday, you're going to go head-to-head with the playoffs.
You don't want to do that.
Well, they don't like admitting it out loud.
Somebody said Mark said he had Montana State plus 7.5. You were great there with that one last night. No problem. Knox, we do have a Fargo resident. He says it is currently -3 in Fargo, so 25 would be awesome.
At some point, it's just cold, right? I mean,
at some point, you can't go outside.
Yeah.
I don't know what that number is. Well, for me, it's like 20. But I saw somebody running in my neighborhood when I was leaving this morning, and I was like, I'm impressed because it's cold.
There's a treadmill. Go get a treadmill. Just go get on the treadmill.
Well, I started. I'm not going to give any identifying information out, but I saw her running about 3 or 4 months ago, and I said, are you training for something? She goes, well, no, I run every day, but I just always run a treadmill, and it's broken, and I guess she hasn't gotten it fixed yet. But the cold weather might be a reason to go ahead and get on that and get that thing repaired. Because, I mean, I have run in the snow before, but it's not fun. It's stupid. You're going to fall. You're going to break something.
Yeah, no.
It's dumb.
Yeah, no.
I'm admitting I'm dumb. So
just get on a treadmill.
24 in Dallas currently.
What's our forecast for right now? They're still talking about good bit of snow, right?
Yeah, it was like 90% for Friday. Was it 3 to 5 inches? I think I saw.
Here we go. Friday in Oxford, Mississippi, watching a potential winter storm, snow likely, high around 35, winds light and variable, chance of snow 100%.
Yeah, my app is showing 80% on Thursday night and 100% on Friday.
5 to 8 inches of snow expected.
Okay, so if we get
and Thursday, they've changed on my app from earlier this morning 5% chance of snow to now 10% chance of snow. So we're starting to
pick it up.
We're starting to play the game. But Friday, I'll give them credit. When the weather people go 100%, that's when I listen. Because if they go 90%, I'm like, you're leaving it out.
But 100 going, hey, guys.
100%.
And we're 3 days out, but it's not like we're 10 days out.
No, but they've been talking. I remember talking to Laura about this when had just gotten to Jacksonville. Like, are you watching this extended thing?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we just get snow and no ice, that's awesome. If we get a little ice first and then we get 5 inches to 8 inches, we're done for like 10 days. Shut up. I can't get you to bite on the Lane and Layla stuff early, but now
I didn't bite.
We're here.
I just thought the joke.
Okay. Ole Miss has not had a first-round NFL draft pick since 2017.
Is that right?
That was Evan Ingram being taken with the 23rd overall pick.
Evan was in Jacksonville.
He was. I saw him. Yeah. By the New York Football Giants. They have not had multiple since Neal was in attendance for the 2016 NFL draft.
Ah, yes.
With Robert Laquan and Laramie all going
I
in
wish
the first
I'd just
round.
taken the 8-inch joke and gone with it.
You could have kept this whole segment.
Could have just kept going.
ESPN this morning putting out their latest mock draft that does have Ole Miss having 2 Rebels in the first round. So if they get both those and that is accurate, then they will have the first 2 since multiple draft.
Nolan and Amos.
That is correct. They have Trey Amos, the first Rebel off the board. They have him going to. Saw it a second ago. Hold on. The Green Bay Packers is where they have Trey Amos going. So they have a huge need there.
He is going to be harder to replace than people realize.
He's really good.
He was exceptional. NFL people love him.
I don't know that he got the local credit that he deserved for being a take half the field away corner for Ole Miss this season. Because there were several games where they just didn't throw at him.
He let Pete
do
have
some other
flexibility.
Stuff. Yeah.
I imagine Pete Golding is a big Trey Amos fan.
Amos could be the fix as he knows when to adjust his eyes and find the ball in the air. He can play man, but thrives in zone coverage, which fits perfectly in Green Bay's defense with the highest zone coverage rate in the NFL this season. Amos's pass breakups were the second highest in FBS this season.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible stat because, like I said, at times they just didn't even throw his way, period. So there were multiple games where it was like 1 target, no target.
So they've got him going like 20?
24 right
24.
now.
24. So where's Walter going?
28 is where they have him.
Got it.
Vikings with him. Let's see, reading. Nolan played up to his immense potential at Ole Miss after 2 underwhelming seasons at A&M, finishing with a career-high 6.5 sacks. He was one of the most impressive prospects I saw this fall as he consistently penetrated the first level with his explosiveness and heavy hands. Don't be surprised if he continues to rise in the pre-draft process. So I think he could move up as time goes on.
They have a second round mock?
Not here, at least.
Got it.
No. Kid from Missouri, the offensive lineman, Armad Mimbo, to the Chiefs at 31. Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama, 30. Derek Harmon, former SEC guy, Oregon defensive tackle, 28 to the Bills. A&M, number 27. Their edge, Nick Scourton, to the Eagles. Got themes going here if you're not noticing that.
The SEC is dead thing. Enjoy it now because come April and May, it'll die.
Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, who's basically an SEC team. They're 26 to the Commanders. Amos, Alabama, Jed Campbell, the linebacker, 23 to the Bucks. Michigan's got a couple. Luther Burden, 21 to the Broncos, wide receiver from Missouri, obviously. The guard tackle from Arizona, 20. East Carolina, Oregon. James Pierce, big-time edge out of Tennessee, 17 to the Bengals.
Yeah.
He's good.
First round guy, for sure.
Jelon Walker, edge from Georgia, 15 to the Falcons.
Yep.
He's good. Tyler Warren, an excellent tight end from Penn State, number 14, the Indianapolis Colts. He can play.
He's a stud.
Yeah. Malachi Starks, safety, Georgia, 13 to the Dolphins.
Yep.
Ashton Jonty, 12 to the Cowboys. I have him going 12th overall. Neal's not a believer. You don't like that?
He plays really hard.
That feels like a Jerry screw-up pick, though, doesn't it? I get why we're getting mocked here, doesn't it? You do that, and then Malachi Starks right behind him turns into this all-pro for 9 years. You go, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
See, I'll hate that, too, because everything indicates that Ashton Jonty is a fantastic kid. And so he'll become a bad guy, and even though he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I mean, it's era, too. Running backs are just, it is where it is outside of a couple. Shamar Stewart, A&M defensive lineman, 11 to the 49ers. Will Campbell, LSU tackle, 10 to the Bears. Arizona with 2 first-round picks, as bad as they suck. Now maybe we know why that head coach is on the hot seat.
Could be.
Mikael Williams, edge, Georgia, Panthers, number 8. Michigan has 3 first-round picks, by the way.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter to the Raiders. He's really good. The edge from Penn State.
He's a stud.
He can play for me. Sorry, Michigan has 4 first-round picks.
Wow.
Kelvin Banks, the tackle out of Texas, to the Patriots at number 4.
Yep.
He had a critical false start that almost cost him on the other day. But
he is a big kid, too.
Travis Hunter, 3 to the Giants. Shadir Sanders, 2 to the Cleveland. That'll fit in right well. Just go ahead and popcorn. I'm ready to watch that show. Deshaun Shadur. Woo.
Well,
and that has number 1 Cam Ward. Oh, my God.
No.
I'm sorry, Titans. I'm sorry. Like, what the hell?
I'd rather just give Will Levis another year.
Dude.
I'm serious.
I want nothing to do with Cam Ward. Hey, this stat was illuminating to me. I just stumbled across it because I was needing a comparison. I read a lot about Jackson Dart yesterday and where he factored in on all sorts of stuff. He threw 1 interception in his career on a pass 10 yards or shorter in his career. So meaning a short pass, he threw 1 pick. It was like 567 attempts.
Okay.
1 interception. Cam Ward in his career, including 2 seasons at Incarnate Word, threw 12. 12 picks on passes 10 yards and shorter. I'm out.
I've met Cam Ward. He was a nice guy. I wish no ill will. But I cannot take him in the first. I can't take him with the top 5 pick.
I need all this stuff if I'm the Titans who suck, and I go, yep, Cam Ward. No.
Yeah, no, if I'm the Titans, name me the other guys in the top 5, 6. Not quarterbacks.
Travis.
Okay, see, I could make that work.
Kelvin Banks.
Give me
a left tackle.
Give me a tackle for 10 years. Okay.
Will Johnson, the corner out of Michigan.
Sure.
Abdul Carter.
All day. Give me him. Give me the tackle from
give me the tackle from Texas or the defensive end from Penn State.
Yeah, give me one, or I'll even take Will Campbell. Give me a lockdown left tackle. I'll go Will Levis for another year. Just play. Let's tank again, and maybe you figure it out. Like Will Levis does things every once in a while. You're like, oh, that's a hell of a throw. Now he's generally bad, but he's better than Cam Ward.
He is.
I mean, if you tell me today, all hyperbole aside, you can have another year of Will Levis, or we're going to invest a first overall pick on.
No,
I'll just go with Levis.
Yeah, well,
I'll go with Levis because maybe there's a chance,
and we'll just try again next year
that we figure something out. A light comes on. Levis does some decent stuff. His last throw of the season was elite. He makes bad decisions, but so does Cam Ward. Holy shit. Pardon my language. I mean, Cam Ward makes some decisions that you're like, oh my God. Like, it makes your skin crawl.
Yeah, the biggest steal for somebody from an Ole Miss perspective is going to be getting Princely in the middle of round 2.
Yeah.
Because he could be impact at the end.
All right. I mean, I think Jackson Dart's going to be an impact player. I do.
And you're probably going to be able to get him late second, early third.
Sign me up on
So
Jackson
if you're Tennessee, do you even go, hey, I'll grab him in the start of the 3rd round?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Give me a left tackle. They're hard to get. Because one of those two kids, the kid
Campbell or Banks,
they're fine. At minimum, you're going to have a league average to slightly above average tackle for 10 years. So sign me up for that.
And can I talk the Giants maybe even into moving to 1 and I can slip to 3 for like a 7th round pick or something just to get a pick?
If they're desperate for Shedeur Sanders or something, yeah, absolutely. I trade down from 1 to 4, 1 to 5, absolutely, yeah, all day. Throw in a 6th round.
Wouldn't even take much. Just
throw in a 6th.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah Smith would go 1-1 in this draft.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. I said that on McCready and Siski yesterday. He should be allowed.
He's a stud.
He should be allowed to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, I think Ole Miss has 8-9 guys drafted this year.
It's the next big step for Lane. It's what he hasn't been able to do yet. And I think this is going to be what.
Because, I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, it's Nolan, Princely, Dart, Amos, Ivy.
Pegues.
If you told me somebody in the 7th round grabbed Trey Washington, I wouldn't be stunned by that.
Depending on his health, Trey Harris.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Trey will get drafted, I think.
I mean, people are going to want to know what's up with the growing.
Yeah, sure.
Can it be fixed? Is he good?
Yeah.
You mentioned Paul.
I didn't, but yeah.
He'll get drafted for sure.
Yeah, I think it's – I counted on the other day, and it was like 8.5 is where I'd set an over-under if you told me to set it.
If you told me a team took a flyer late on pre-scoring, I'd buy it. Big body. Yeah.
So it'll be an active draft. We'll talk plenty of that coming into April. We'll need the content, so we'll talk to you about that then.
John Saunders Jr., depending on what he's going to have to run well.
Mm-hmm.
I think an NFL team will absolutely give Trey Washington a look because there's some intangibles there. I mean,
4-year SEC guy.
The physical stuff's going to stop him from getting drafted probably, but he'll get a real opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm high on Dart. I think, and what I think doesn't matter. I'm nobody. I don't evaluate quarterbacks for a living. I have talked to NFL people, and they are intrigued by him. I was so happy for him that he got out of the tax layer
healthy, good to go. Yeah.
Because when he kept going back out there and he was lowering his head, I was like, dude,
stop.
In 2 weeks, you have a really big job.
Might be one of the NFL's big thing is, hey, look, we know you compete like hell, but you can't do that.
Oh, no. An NFL team will tell
you can't run.
They'll
like
find
that.
him.
Yeah. No.
They'll go, next time you do that.
Because in college, it's like, it's just who he is. I can't.
Yeah.
But there, no.
Well, no, an NFL team will say, I know that's your deal, and I know that Lane kind of signed off on it, but no.
Uh-huh.
You're not lowering your head on an NFL linebacker.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. We're going to fine you $10,000 every time that you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But my point was, talking to some NFL people, they're intrigued by Jackson Dart. They love the intangibles. He's smart, competitive as hell, maybe to a fault. But, yeah, if you told me that, I can tell you this. I mean, just finish if you told me I can have Jackson Dart in the 3rd round at a minimum financial investment compared to Cam Ward, holy shit. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And because if you told me one of those two guys is a 4 to 6 year NFL starter, I would tell you I think it's Dart.
Yeah. We'll hit a little more on Dart tomorrow. I want to talk about him, and I don't
hate Shedeur the way other people do.
He's fine.
There's some stuff there.
We'll also look at Arkansas and Ole Miss. They tip tomorrow night from Fayetteville, so we'll look into that a little more. Not really a preview, but you know what I mean? So we'll talk about whatever happens tonight in the SEC and all that coming up on Blue Sky Live on Wednesday. Take care. Have a good day. Stay inside because it's going to be quite the cold one all across the country, and we'll talk to you then.